20 best keyword research tools. What's up, guys? This is Chris M. Walker from Legiit and Superstar SEO. Today we are going to take a blog post that the content team at Superstar SEO did not and walk you through it here in video form. I will leave a link to that blog post in the description and in the pinned comment below, so check both of those out. And I will leave a link to the creator from Legiit that created this presentation for us as well. I think she did a great job and it'll be a real big help. So let's dive into it. So before we dive into it, let's just quickly state that these are just 20 that we found. You may agree with some, many, a few, or all, or none of them. And that's fine. We'd love to hear what your favorite ones are. And these are in no particular order. These are just some of the ones that we found that got the best results for us. So let's dive in. The first one is one I actually hadn't even heard of before we started this, but it's really cool. It's called, I think, Soovle, and I think that's a play on Google. I could be wrong about that, but that's as close as I'm going to get. It's really cool. You just go to the website, Soovle.com, and you will see a screen like this. It's a little search engine, and then you just type in what you're looking for. So in this example, they used backlinks. And it'll just give you some it'll just give you some quick long tail versions of it and some other information when you mouse over them. And it also does Amazon. It does what else? eBay, Yahoo, Bing, YouTube, and a few other things. So if you're working in those verticals, that'll help you there too. This is one I wasn't familiar with, but it's just a website. You just type in the keyword and you're off to the races. So that's the first one. The next one is, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of these because we've got 20 of these to cover, and this video will be 1,200 hours long, is Jaxi. And this one's pretty cool because it gives you a bunch of search results really quickly, but also it'll show you how many competitors are trying to rank for a particular keyword, which I think is pretty useful. And for the price, it's a pretty great deal. It's $50 a month for the paid plan, but they also have a freemium version, meaning you can test it before you do it. So that's another one that I wasn't too familiar with going into this. So check that out. That's Jaxi. Next up is I don't know. I was going to think of something clever, but basically the next up is Google Search Console. Like, this should be a no-brainer, but I mean, this is straight from Google. My personal opinion is the data isn't that accurate, which is interesting since it's coming straight from Google, because I get traffic sometimes from terms I know I'm not ranking for, but it can help you find profitable keywords and hundreds of opportunities. And the performance report has actually gotten pretty decent. It'll generate a list of like pages that aren't doing so well that are doing well, that attract the most search engine visitors and things like that. And that's a great way to find, what I like to use it for is, if a page is getting a lot of impressions but few clicks, that means that you can optimize the search appearance of it. So the meta title, meta description, and so on. So you'll know the keyword that attracted visitors. Again, in my opinion, that's not that accurate, but I could be wrong. But you'll find opportunities here, and it's handy for finding keywords. So, and it's free, so you should have it hooked to your website anyway. So that's kind of that. But like I said, it helps you find opportunity keywords, and when you combine it with Google Analytics, it actually does get pretty powerful. So there's no reason not to have it, and it's something that you need for other tools anyway. So that's that. Next up is Ahrefs Keyword Explorer. Ahrefs is pricey, and it's only getting pricier and more convoluted in the way they do it, but is really, really complete. It gives you so much information for every seed keyword. You receive a pretty extensive list of keywords. They claim they have a database of 7 billion keywords. That is what it is. They are making a search engine of their own, so I guess they have to have a lot. And then it covers a lot of different countries. And some of the unique features of it are that it's an estimated number of clicks per keyword. Personally, I don't find that very accurate either, but it is what it is. It tells you how many backlinks are needed to rank. At least it's an approximation, that's where they kind of started, was in backlink analysis. So they incorporated that, and it is a good place to start. I wouldn't take it as a holy grail. It is more accurate than most tools in terms of difficulty. It has its quirks, but it's a great tool. It's the most popular backlink analysis tool. And it's one of the most complete SEO tools, even though they have their issues right now. So that's that one, Ahrefs Keyword Explorer. Next up is SECockpit. This is an old one. And when I say old, that doesn't mean that old as in, I don't know, we look down on old too much. This is one that has been around for a long time. Let's put it that. It's really, it's not beginner friendly in my opinion, but that's a good thing. It's more complicated, more advanced. It has search trends and traffic estimates, organic competition, and you do need to know SEO in order to use it. But I remember in one of the very first courses I took, they used this as the tool that they demonstrated keyword research with. And it's interesting to me that it's still doing so well. And it's basically a click start a keyword research, enter a seed keyword, save and close, and it'll produce a report. It's straightforward, but you need to know what you're doing as well. But the results are really, really in depth. So that's that one, SECockpit. I've been saying that wrong for almost 10 years now. Next up is Google Keyword Planner. I know this is another one. This is kind of the original keyword research tool, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because this is technically more for PPC than it is for keyword research, but it is kind of the beginning of keyword research. And if you do any kind of keyword research, you're probably already familiar with it. So I'm going to skip over that for the most part. In theory, it has the most credible source for keyword data. It's definitely the most credible source, I guess I should say, because it is from Google. Whether you believe what they tell you or not, I don't know. But that's, this is straight from the horse's mouth. So that's that one, Google Keyword Planner. Next up is one that I don't think gets enough attention, and that's keywordtool.io. This is one I found out about in, I want to say 2016, and I've used on and off since then. It's similar to Soovle in that it's kind of a Google Suggest scraper. One of the things I like about it is the questions feature. Basically, you can have it find question type keywords. So how do I cure gout or something? I don't know why that was what came to mind. That's kind of a gross thing, but it has a lot to do with it. Now, you do have to be paid to see any real data from it, but it's a really good tool. It's really underrated, and it's one of my favorites. So check it out, keywordtool.io. Especially, like I said, I especially like the questions feature. Next up is Moz Keyword Explorer. This tends to be a bit smarter than other keyword tools. I actually find it more useful than their link analysis tool because I just don't think that their metrics and their database for links is all that up to date, or all that in depth, I guess I should say, compared to other tools. But their Keyword Explorer tool is actually quite good. Next up is one that I've been using for so long that I almost forget. Like when I go to a browser that doesn't have it installed, I forget. Like it looks weird because I'm so used to seeing it there. Basically, it's a browser extension that you attach to your browser, and it'll give you keyword volume, long tail keyword suggestions, and just all sorts of great information and a competition score right there in your search engine. So you search a term, bam, there it is. It used to be free. It has a very minimal charge now, but it's worth every penny. So that's Keywords Everywhere. Next up is Keyword Snatcher. I love that name, but this gives you an extensive list of keywords. You enter in your keyword basically, and it'll return at least 2,000 related keywords. This is one I've had for a long time too. And it does other search engines as well: Google, YouTube, Bing, Amazon, eBay, and so on. So, one of the things I do like about it is it's just this. One thing, I feel like I bag on Ahrefs a lot in these videos, but that's partly because they just keep trying to do more and more and more. This is just a keyword suggestion tool. So it's more for finding keywords than it is analyzing them. But Keyword Snatcher, that's that one. Next up is yet another Google product, and that is Google Trends. And this is going to show you things that are, as the name would probably indicate, trending in Google, so you can build content around them and make keywords around them. So this is a great way to catch trends, because that's the name of it, and really get some quick traffic. So Google Trends is another one. Next up is SEMrush. They are similar. They're really not similar, but people like to compare things. But they are in the same customer pool as Ahrefs. So yeah, most people are probably familiar with them. But basically, their keyword tool, in my opinion, they're actually a little better for keyword tools. The content team didn't agree, but that's okay. It gives a long list of related keywords. It'll show your competitors' ranking, unique keywords that can't be obtained from like other keyword research tools. That I absolutely found true. I find that it's not really related to this video, but I find that it's better at finding keywords that you rank for than is Ahrefs as well. It allows you to focus on countries, which is good for those of us in not the U.S. Well, not us. I'm in the U.S., but for people in other countries, and you can kind of get like the top organic keywords report too. So it's one of the better ones. It's expensive, so just keep that in mind. But it's kind of almost a must-have tool if you do SEO. So that's that one. Next up is KW Finder. In Superstar SEO Academy, one of the other coaches, Jeff, he swears by this one, and he knows it really, really well. It's what he likes to use. So it's really easy to use. It's powerful, and it's made by, if you watched one of my previous videos on Chrome extensions, but it's made by the same people that make Mangools. Well, it's made by Mangools, who have their own tool. For $29 a month, it's a really strong tool, especially if you're doing like a lot of keyword research for affiliate sites or blogs or things like that. But I like that it's very accessible and very straightforward. So check that out. And I think they have like a 10-day free trial or something. Next up is QuestionDB. That stands for database, by the way, and not a bad word. Find a ton of question keywords for free. I talked about that on another tool. I love question keywords because there's intent there and they're easier to pick off. You just enter a seed keyword and it'll produce a list. And it's kind of, I guess you could say it's similar to Answer to the Public. But it gives you keywords as well. It's similar to Answer to the Public, but it gives you keywords as well. So it's if you want to know question-focused keywords, this is a great one, especially if you don't want to spring for keywordtool.io. Next up is Keyword Sheeter, and that used to be called something else, but my guess is that the thing it used to be called was making it hard for him to market it. But anyhow, it pulls data from Google Autocomplete. So like when you start to type something and you press a space, how it suggests other things, it pulls data from that, and it generates it says heaps here. I would never say heaps, but it generates a ton of keywords. So basically you just put in like keyword research tools, and then it'll literally just start sheeting out a bunch of different variations on it. I really, really like this one. It's just a great tool. That's a keyword sheeter. Next up is Keyword Surfer. This is very similar to Keywords Everywhere, but what I like about it is that you can actually create a content editor with it right there in the browser. So basically you search a keyword and it'll give you suggestions, and you can click on one of them and create a content editor to write your content right there with it. And then Surfer is a full SEO tool in itself, but the browser extension, Keyword Surfer, is free, and it's a great lead magnet for them, if I'm being honest. But it's a great tool. I would use either this or Keywords Everywhere. Find your preference, because having both, it gets a bit overkill. But that's another great one, Keyword Surfer. Next up is Keyworddit. This one is kind of unique because the content is pulled from Reddit. It'll enter a subreddit and return up to 500 keywords, including monthly search volumes, and then export them. I don't really know what else to say about it. That's unique. You don't find that anywhere else, but Reddit has a lot of traffic and a lot of engaged community. So it's worth looking into. Like, don't ignore it for keywords or for outreach, actually, but I'll cover that in a future video, and for topics. So that one is Keyworddit. Next up is Bulk Keyword Generator. And what this is kind of a local keyword research tool based on industry and location. You basically choose a type of business, you enter the location, so Plumber, New York, and you generate keywords, and it'll generate keywords for you. So that's kind of how that works. And it can be combined with like Keyword Planner to enhance the results as well. This one is one of the few good tools for local keyword research that kind of gets ignored. It often feels like keyword research is the domain of affiliate marketers more than it is local SEOs, but I guess they're tired of being ignored. Google. You may be laughing right now, but it's literally, if you know how to use Google itself, you can, if you know how to use Google itself to do proper keyword research, you can be invincible. They give you a lot of data for free, and it gives you people also search. You have the questions, you have the autocomplete. If you're really on a shoestring budget, you can do most of your keyword research with Google. Now that is 19 of them. I want to show 2 others, and I'm going to demonstrate them as opposed to just show you a slide. So let's jump over into a browser. Okay, so this one is called Low Fruits, and it's lowfruits.io. I've really been digging into it a lot lately, and I'm really fond of it. Basically, this will help you, well, at least the way I like to use it is to basically use it to complete. So, for example, the one I've been using for examples is Best Chainsaw for. And then what you do is put an asterisk there. And I like to, one thing I don't like is that it uses Moz for its like showing what ones you want to look at. But, and like I said earlier, Moz I think has some issues, but we're going to go by find by DA. And I'm going to pause while that thinks. Access all the keyword data, all the keyword ideas for free, but with the paid version, which I believe is $29 a month, you get a lot more information. So let's take a look at the past report that I did. Now there's a lot of different things you can do here, and it just gives you a ton of great information, suggestions. Why is it so slow? Best chainsaw for limbing, for a girl, best chainsaw for dirt bike, questions. This is right now is probably my favorite keyword research tool. Related, and then clusters is a great one. If you're not familiar with keyword clustering, this is how you can expand on it. So you would basically, if you had a site about chainsaws, you would do best chainsaw for tree cutting, and then you would make an article for best chainsaw for tree cutting, and then these could be the other cluster articles, or they could be your H3s. But it's really just, it gives you so much information. I could do the whole video on this, and maybe I will, instead of just trying to briefly cover it. But that's that is the next one. That is lowfruit.io. Definitely check that one out. Maybe if there's demand, I will do a video for that one. And the next up is Keyword Supremacy, which is by my good friend Herc Magnus, who is also an influencer on Legiit and the owner of, I believe it's pronounced Zagio. This is a cool one. It actually pulls from Google Autocomplete as well. So you can see some of the ones I've been looking at. Let's just continue our best chainsaw example, and it'll just show you what the autocomplete for it is. So, excuse me, not the autocomplete, but people also search for it. So this is just a great bunch of keywords directly from Google. I love this tool. I've been using it for years. It's not as well known as it should be, in my opinion. It's a great tool to quickly find synonyms for your keywords and just to really build out your site. So that is Keyword Supremacy. Check it out at keywordsupremacy.com. And then our final, I guess, bonus keyword research tool is Ultimate Research from SERPed.net. You can check this channel for a lengthy review I did a few years back on SERPed. But basically, you come to Ultimate Research and you start a search. And again, you can see what I've been searching for, but let's just do one of these. You know what? Let's continue our best chainsaw example. There's some advanced things you can do here as well, the state and the city, but that doesn't really apply here. So we're going to do search keyword. And we'll pause while that thinks. All right, and this is what it comes back with. So you can kind of drill down into each one, and that's what I like most about this is how easy it is to drill down and see the competition and things like that. But it really just gives you a nice long list of related keywords that you can build your site around. So you see, it gives you some information on the sites that are already ranking for that. So you can see like the DA and the PA and the links and so on. So in my opinion, there are some other things that you need to look at in addition to this, but that's a good start. How do I minimize that? But this gives you a nice other list of keyword research tool or keywords to build your site around. So you got a lot of best this, best that type of keywords. So if you were building a chainsaw site, this would be the tool for you. There you have it. Those are what ended up being 23 of what we found to be the best keyword research tools on the market. What do you think? Which ones do you agree with? Which ones do you disagree with? Which ones did we leave out? Which ones do you use? What are your favorites? What are your least favorites? Let us know in the comments. And while you're there, do a like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, this was in a blog post, so that will be linked in the description as well as in the first comment. And then the link to this presentation, the service that created this presentation, will be there as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll be able to use these and be on the lookout for more videos like this in the future. Thanks and peace